Hello, collectors. Welcome to hour number 2 of day 2 of Hobby Palooza 2024. Our next program, we've got 3 great guys who are going to be talking about top 5 cards that are not part of their top 100 cards. So we'll be seeing all sorts of interesting cards of, lower denominations. I know these guys have massively awesome collections, so it'll be interesting to see what they pull for this. Before we get to that, though, I've got some information on the official charity for Hobby Palooza 2024. I'm happy to report that we've already set a new Hobby Palooza donation record. We're at $4,420. We'd like to push to see how far we can go with that. And here's some information on how you can donate to that cause. The official charity of Hobby Palooza 2024 is Signatures for Soldiers. Since 2014, it has been their mission to help serve those who served our nation when it called on them and who now need our help. They work in cooperation with other charitable organizations to assist veterans with disabilities, homeless veterans, and existing members of the armed forces and their families who need extra support. Their efforts have been documented in Forbes and Beckett magazines. They will be operating a booth at the National, which is their biggest fundraising event of the year, as it includes a charity auction with the support of Heritage Auction House. For more information, visit signaturesforsoldiers.com. To donate to Signatures for Soldiers for our Hobby Palooza event, please use PayPal Goods and Services to send your money. Last year, Mike's PayPal account was frozen by too many people using friends and family. I will happily donate the PayPal fee myself to make your donation whole. Send it to jekoffma@yahoo.com. That was JECOFFMA@yahoo.com. For every $10 donated, you will have an entry to one of the pieces of artwork created by Scott of Reindeer Studios or Eric Forleaf that they will be making live on their Hobby Palooza show. Additionally, for collectors have 50 exclusive Quad Auto channel cards available to the first 50 people who donate and request one. In the notes section with your PayPal payment, at a minimum, please include your YouTube handle. If you want to get one of the autographed channel cards, also include your mailing address. Every dollar collected will be presented by check to Signatures for Soldiers at the National in Cleveland. Thank you for supporting this worthy cause.
What's up, everybody? Can you guys hear me?
I hear you.
What's
going on?
All right, awesome. So Vince, how much are you going to be donating to Signature for Soldiers?
I think about 1,100.
Are you going to donate?
No, I haven't. How about you, Joe? You got anything left after that Ruth and Mays back to back?
Well, it's funny because I still owe Mike a lot of money. So
that's good responsible spending right there.
So if I donate to Signature for Soldiers, that just means it's going to take longer to pay Mike back.
Yeah.
So, but Mike, I think just said on the last stream that he donated $2,000. So I don't know, Vince. I mean, can't you donate something?
Sure, I could.
Anyway, I'm just joking. All right, so wanted to ask you guys: are you guys doing the? Are we doing the National this year? Josh, are you going to be going?
Every year, man. How about you?
I'll be there. I guess the question is whether Vince is going. Are you going, Vince?
I have a hotel room booked in case I want to go.
Oh, so you're not sure yet?
Yeah, we'll see. It's quite a drive, you know.
But Josh, you I know you're thinking about picking up a big card. Do you want to talk about it, or are you
Yeah, I mean, probably the card that's at the top of both your collections. I've been trying to move some pieces in preparation for the National, but you got to find the right one too. So
right.
I might need you guys' help on the 52 mantle.
Yeah, so he's thinking about maybe like a low grade.
Very, very low grade.
Very low grade.
As low as you can go.
Dude, it's a lot more expensive now than when me and Vince got it.
Oh yeah,
dude, it was expensive when we did it. I mean,
right.
I couldn't do it today without maybe moving stuff like Josh is saying. That's the everyman. That's a very difficult purchase. Yeah, if that's what I think it is. right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 50. He's going to be so. I'm not sure if I'm going to have any money at the at the
No.
national, so I might have to live vicariously through you, Josh. Like just but it actually gives me something to do. Like I'll walk the floor and try to find something awesome for you. So hopefully I can finding a low grade mantle. I'm assuming you're going to have some competition. Unfortunately, there's probably going to be a lot of people that are going to want or be after the same thing at the show. But
Well, appreciate your help. And if you want to kick in one of your Greg Bird rookie cards, that might help.
yeah, before we dive into, because the funny thing is I actually so today Josh, New York Yanks fan 7, and I, our focus of today's presentation is going to be around our top 5 cards that are not in our top 100 cards. Yesterday I really put some thought into it. At one point I did pull out the Greg Bird auto. Because in some ways for those of you guys that don't know me, I a couple of years ago really got into prospecting, and Greg Bird was the man. He was he was going to be the next big thing for the Yankees at first base, and I spent $400 on a Greg Bird auto. Got it graded. It came back as a PSA 9. So the beauty of it, it's not even a 10. But I always joke around about that. I spent $400 on a Greg Bird. And that does make it like one of my favorite cards because it's like, it's like egg on my face. But anyway, so before I get into that, I wanted to, the Nationals coming up, and I just want a quick advertisement. If you guys don't mind, I'm just going to share my screen.
Do we have a choice?
No. So for the National 2024 Hangout, it's going to be hosted by me, Silver Jackify, Phil Filmington, who does the Rookie Explosion Box, and Mike O. So here's Phil on the right-hand side. This is Mike in the middle, and that's me on the left. Is that, that looks, and I guess I didn't even notice, but I had like a little backpack going.
What are you wearing?
Is that you that noticed that, Vince? Or
Yeah, is that your Paw Patrol backpack, Joe? What is it?
Yeah, so I got my little it's like this tiny little backpack, but I feel like I look kind of cool in it. But Friday night hangout, 8 p.m. Friday night, July 26th at the National. We're going to be hosting at the 9 Hotel Rooftop Bar on 2017 East 9th Street. The Rooftop Bar, guys, which if anybody, any of you guys in the comments that are watching this right now, if you guys were at the Rooftop Bar in Atlantic City a couple of years ago, Vince, I know you were there. Josh, were you there for that? I don't think you were there for that,
I
right?
didn't make that one. Yeah.
What's that?
I didn't make that one. I'll be at this one for sure.
Yeah. But it was like,
if you wear the backpack.
I'll definitely be wearing a fanny pack, but maybe I could pull like a tiny little backpack and a fanny pack out. But it should be it would like for the Atlantic City, and Vince, you could talk to this, right? It was awesome, right?
Yeah. It was a great night. The weather was good. It was a lot of people there. You bought me a pretzel. Well, you bought yourself a pretzel, but I ate it.
Oh yeah, that giant pretzel that I bought.
Yeah. Figure after 10 minutes of lack of attention, it's fair game. So but no, it was a good time. It's where I saw a lot of people.
Right.
For the first time there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We like, I think the coolest part about the going to the National just in general, of course, the stuff that you guys are going to see is if you've never been to a National before, it is unbelievable. It's very overwhelming. And I've been to a couple. It's funny because I know that it's going to be overwhelming, but yet every single time it always is. I have the mindset that it's going to be overwhelming, and it never seems to help me. But obviously, beyond the fact that you're going to see, cards that you've never seen before and some amazing collections, is the hangout, like getting an opportunity to hang out with you guys. That's why I keep bugging you, Vince, about coming, because I want to see you there. I'm really looking forward to seeing you, Josh, and I know a lot of you guys in the comments are going to be there. So if you can, please come hang out with us. It's Friday night, 8 p.m., rooftop bar. Hopefully we get another beautiful day. A couple of cool things is Teapot is going to be giving away, from what I hear, he's going to be giving away 3 $500 Market Mover subscriptions at the Hangout. Phil is going to be giving away. This is what he told me. I don't know if he's in the chat, but he told me he was going to give away 3 Rookie Explosion boxes. But the way that you win a Rookie Explosion box is to beat him in arm wrestling.
I'm in.
So just to be able to see, like, I feel like just being, on the rooftop watching somebody arm wrestle Phil. The funny thing is, like, I could see, like, none of us will want to arm wrestle him, because, like, I don't think I'd be able to beat Phil. But it'd be funny if, like, some random guy that is not interested in cards at all starts arm wrestling Phil and, like, gets into baseball cards because through an arm wrestling contest. So, but should be a good time. Do you think it'll be a good time, guys?
Of course.
Definitely. Yeah. Look at Vince already showing off those pipes. I think he's training now.
Yeah. See, look, like, this is my
What?
bicep here is pretty big.
I go put on a long sleeve Henley or something.
You promise to do your Don West impersonation at this?
Yeah, we need an announcer, I think. Like, somebody that's willing to do, get on the mic and be like, all right, next up is Josh Rated Rookie against Filmington. And I feel like you could probably, Josh, you look like, I could tell you're a lot stronger than, maybe you got but I could see some biceps behind that big shirt.
I'll put on your little backpack and I'll try that on. That'll be the just when we can't get quite dorky enough, let's just try to keep one-upping ourselves.
Vince, did I convince you to go to the National?
No. I'm a free thinker. Still considering.
That didn't convince you?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, but you could win a Market Movers subscription.
Flippity-doo.
All right.
All right. So what are we doing here? Are we shooting the shit, or are we going to actually get to the point? What's going on?
I don't know. I think I'm just going to shoot the shit.
All right.
How many out of the cards you're going to show today came out of pack pulled or Rookie Explosion boxes?
My card, none of mine came out of Rookie Explosion boxes. I can tell you that.
How about you, Vince? Any pack pull stuff?
Actually, 2 pack pulled. Yeah.
2 pack pulled?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Again, these are not in our top 100, right? The top 100 would be boring top 5,
right?
Cookie shoot.
Yep.
So this is like, you got to put some thought into this. You know what I mean? And so there's some history with some of these cards and some, sentimental sort of value.
Yeah.
So.
Right. This I think is a great concept for a video, guys, because, like, you really, like, it's easy to pick, to your point, Vince. My favorite cards are the ones that are the most valuable, right? But this actually gets you thinking outside the box. Like, what are some cards that really mean a lot to you, that are not, that obviously may not have the most value, but are a lot of times, all 5 of mine have some sort of sentimental value, at least for me. So who wants to kick it off? Top 5 style.
Go ahead, Vince.
All right, I'll go. All right. First up is what I think is a really cool card from 2010 Topps Heritage. I'd love to get signed. Core 4.
Oh, nice. That's so cool.
Obviously, these guys defined one hell of an era in Yankees history. Pettit, Rivera, Jeter, Posada. And
So what set is that from? I've never seen it.
I think it's 2010 Topps Heritage. There was a time when I would buy the Topps Heritage Yankees Master Team Set every year up until, I forget when I stopped doing it, when they did the 63s. Anyway, so this one. And, if Steiner Sports ever has like a Core 4 signing special, you know what I mean? And it's proximate, maybe I'd pony up and have all 4 guys sign this. I did see a BGS or PSA slab signature card of this some years ago on eBay. It was like around $2 to $3 grand. But I just think it's a really cool card. And if I don't get it signed, I definitely go to PSA regardless. So Core 4, 2010 Topps Heritage would be my number 5 card for this particular episode.
So that was sorry, you said that was pack pulled?
No, this is part of a team set purchase. I bought the master team sets for a number of years for Topps Heritage for Yankees, and that came in the it was a master set, so I include all the Yankees related cards for that year. So
last time we did this, Vince tried to convince us that Alfonso Soriano was a Hall of Famer.
I wasn't trying to convince. I was just making an objective opinion. So,
do you think Stanton is a Hall of Famer?
Leaning towards no, but it's too early to tell.
Right. Another injury, unfortunately.
Yeah, always.
Yankees are getting hit pretty badly. They got guys like Ben Rice and Jahmai Jones.
I don't mind that. I mean, I don't mind giving these guys a chance to play. They usually are blocked by these, highly paid veterans that you can't sit, unless they're injured. So.
Well, they just called up Oswaldo. Was it Cabrera or
Peraza? Probably. Cabrera's already on the team. Yeah, Oswald Peraza.
But he's hitting like 170 in the minors. So.
Yeah. I think his window is closing rapidly as far as elite prospect status is concerned.
Right.
He wants that. So
much for for a new Core 4.
Yeah. Not yet.
Not yet. All right, Josh, over to you.
All right, let's do it. So this one is a Sadahara O rookie card.
Oh my God, that's awesome. How is that not in your top 100?
What is this?
It's a nice one. I do remember picking this up, and then a few months later, you showing off an O rookie card and saying that I followed you. Timeline, Joe. It kind of bothers me a little bit how it sits in the PSA slab. Do you ever notice that?
Yeah, I'm the same way. The way that. So why does it? Oh, is it just randomly sitting like that?
Yeah, I think they're gonna start, making them tighter.
Tighter, yeah. That's a really, really cool card. So that actually did, like, in terms of value, you don't think that would fit in your top 100?
No, I mean, it's pretty rare, so it doesn't sell too much. But he has a few rookie cards, and there's some that are just through the roof, and this is kind of on the lower end of his rookie card.
Yeah, that's a really awesome, for somebody, I'm going to be going to the National on a budget. Something like that would be really awesome to pick up.
You're going to the National on credit.
On a credit.
Okay. Budget. No budget. Credit.
Budget.
And no flex pay at the National either, dude. So.
Yeah. I'm hoping to pay Mike back. I think my last payment will be next week, and then I could start to accumulate something for the National. But we'll see. All right, so for me, number 5 is going to be. I don't know if Vince, have you seen this card before?
It looks familiar.
Okay, so the reason why I picked this card, so this is a 1950 Bowman Ted Gray. I got it for Christmas when I was like 6 or 7 years old. And, I was never, just like every other kid, the cards that really I would collect when I was really young were, 1987 Topps, 1986 Topps. And this was like the reason why this card means a lot to me is that it was, the first really, vintage card that I ever owned. It's also, I think this card is absolutely beautiful. And it's funny when I look back at this card because when I first got it, I remember getting it and being like, "Oh, thanks, Dad." Ted Gray. Like, who the heck is Ted Gray? And as a kid, I knew the Mickey Mantles and the Hank Aaron's, but didn't know a lot about vintage cards. And this is I owe this card to a lot of my collecting today, where I've fallen in love with owning beautiful. Look at the eye appeal on this card. It's absolutely gorgeous. You don't always have to own a guy that's an absolute superstar. There's something really just awesome about owning an old vintage card that looks fantastic. And one of the things that's also fun is when you get a vintage card like this, you spend time like learning about the player. And and so anyway, I owe this card as one of the reasons why I collect vintage and why I'm so big into high eye appeal cards today. And just looking back, it was like when I first got it, like I still remember just being like, okay, thanks. And I just put it aside. But then over the course of owning this card over the years, I just started to appreciate it more and more as I got older. And you can see the way I collect today. It's like if I spend big money, it's always on vintage cards and high eye appeal cards. And Josh, that was a really nice compliment that you made to me the other day about how I'm have a great eye for eye appeal. And I do, I think a lot of that has to do with my dad. He instilled in me how important it is to find a really nice looking card. It doesn't have to always be a Hall of Famer. And 40 years of walking card shows and looking for that great looking card. So but yeah, that's my number 5.
So upon receipt of the card, you were basically an ungrateful prick.
Right.
over time, you learned to appreciate and make sure. Okay, gotcha. Excellent.
Yeah. No, I was, dude. When I was a kid, and I still am. Like, not that I've changed that much, but I'm very like spoiled. I've been spoiled my whole life, and my parents would always get me all these gifts, and I'd be like, wouldn't appreciate them sometimes. So not that as you can see, I haven't changed much. Yeah. You're just like, yeah. So thanks. So I think back to you, Vince.
So this is pack pulled, and so this is a. I remember opening 87 Fleer baseball and really hoping I would pull this card from a pack, and I did just that. This Fleer All-Star Team Mattingly card.
I love it.
Which is just a great card. Now, I believe that the prior year 86 Fleer, these were the first insert/chase cards, I think, inserted into packs, back in the day, right? Now they're a dime a dozen, but I believe Fleer had the only insert card that you could get at random opening their packs. And this was one of them. And this was from a guy. So in my small town, there was a guy who out of his house, he had baseball cards he would sell, and he had like binders on the table. He had packs, and at the time, he didn't think of this sort of thing. But years later, my mom was like, yeah, I thought it was odd that this old guy was letting like 12-year-old kids into his house, interested in baseball cards. Like nowadays, like what kind of weirdos having kids over and they're showing baseball cards? We didn't think about that kind of crap back then. It was no big deal. There was nothing dubious about the situation. But just nowadays, when we look at things like who's this creepy old man inviting? Come on, little boys, I got baseball cards for sale. You know what I mean? But that was this guy, and that was the only way to get cards in my little town. There was no card stores. Obviously, there's no eBay. There's no online presence for anything. So this 87 Fleer All-Star Team Mattingly is to this day one of my favorite cards. And I have it graded in a 9, but this was the one that I pack pulled. So I put this, sleeved it up, and you'll notice that a lot of my stuff here has got a Yankees East Coast bias. But anyway.
Me too. I've got a couple of cards coming up that are definitely East Coast bias as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering how many Mattingly cards we're going to see.
We already got one. We already got one in the stream.
There might be another one in there somewhere.
I mean, hopefully that O.J. Simpson card doesn't break it.
Look out! No, OJ is not in this list.
Josh, by the way, what time is it over? Are you on the? You're on the West Coast. Right?
Yeah. It's 8:26.
And what was I think I was texting you at what, like 5 a.m. this?
Yeah.
No concept of the time difference. You know?
Sorry.
It doesn't care at all.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Well, Hoops and Homers actually called this one. So next up, this is a Kirk Gibson relic auto.
That's so cool.
Topps tribute. Nice shine on that one.
Wow.
Best Dodgers moment of my lifetime for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what probably the Yankee moment would be the flip for you guys.
Maybe the Jeter Mr. November home run.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's got to be the Aaron Boone home run. That was like
that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like so unexpected for Aaron Boone to hit that. You know, it was off of Wakefield, who the Yankees couldn't hit.
Yeah.
Aaron Boone, who came out at, similar to like the Kirk Gibson, where like you wouldn't have expected Gibson to hit a home run there.
It was his only at bat of the whole series. He had the injury. This is like if you want a cheaper version.
Nice.
$20 card.
Yeah.
It's number 666, which I wonder if someone at Upper Deck did that intentionally. They're a Giants fan, maybe. I thought you were going to say the Jeffrey Mayer home run.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that Gibson, they had to wheel him out to the batter's box on a stretcher. In that game.
Yeah.
He was hobbling, so it just adds to
that. Bases. Like he fouled one off, and if he hadn't hit a home run, it would have been really tough for him to run.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you remember, Josh, like when Gibson hit that home run? Do you remember like where you were? And
yeah, the whole thing. And then you hear all the stories. Eckersley. They kind of talked about whether Eckersley might throw that pitch. Vince Scully's call was kind of the LA version, but I think the national call was a little bit like, do you believe what you just said? So that's definitely the number one moment for Dodger fans.
Vince Scully will always be my favorite announcer, by the way.
Oh, for sure. I almost pulled the Vince Scully card today. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Far and away. Yeah.
What do you mean you almost pulled
it? It didn't. Yeah, maybe it would have been an honorable mention. It's
gotcha.
Like
okay.
Vince Scully auto that I really love. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Vince.
You get an Aaron Boone card. It can't be. That could be a nice, fun little cheap pickup.
Yeah, you know what? I actually have an Aaron Boone auto. It's actually with PSA right now.
Right.
That actually it's that moment that the home run. It was in. I pulled it out of Topps Tribute, but it's not in great condition. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get it slabbed just for fun. All right, am I up?
A lot of people in the.
You are up, Joe, and keep it to less than 5 minutes. The exposition here. So.
Jeez.
We're out of time. We'll end at number 3 for each of us. This one.
Well, we got an hour. Still got 30 minutes to kill.
Just say it.
Okay. All right. So Brian Taylor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. As a Yankees fan, the early '90s Yankees were awful, and so early '90s. If you remember, the Mets were dominant. Won in '86. They probably should have won more World Series. When I was young, of course, Brian Taylor was the Yankees' hope. I thought maybe he would be the new Dwight Gooden for the Yankees. They signed him for $1 million, and he was the number 1 overall pick, June of 1991. So I still remember, thinking he was going to be the next big thing. I'm sure you remember that too, Vince. And he got into that bar fight that I think his brother actually got into the fight, and he ended up trying to break it up. And ruined his, I think his shoulder, or his arm, and never was the same after that. But there was talk about him, throwing 100 miles an hour, and this card was one of those cards that was impossible. You go to shows when you were younger, and you'd see this card, and you'd be like, "How the heck do you get this?" And so being able to pick this card up in a perfect 9.5 10 auto, I thought was really cool. So and the only way to get it was in the factory gold sets. It was card number 793.
His regular Topps rookie card is actually a great looking rookie card for a guy, and it's such a shame. And that was the era. The Yankees were so bad, like the Stump Merrill, Dallas Green. They were so bad that Andy Hawkins would pitch a no hitter and lose. That's how bad that team was.
Right.
Remember that was like, good grief. And then of course 93 things started to look a little brighter, and then from there on the rest of the decade they were just awesome. But
I remember
years.
Yeah, I remember my dad would always be like, it's too bad you weren't around, when I was a kid, because the Yankees just dominated, and all I ever saw was the Yankees were terrible. It was the Don Mattingly years. I mean, even in you think about 92, they were hopeless. Mattingly was no longer the player he used to be, and like you said, you have guys like Andy Hawkins and
Mel Hall, Melito Perez.
It was just all. It was an all.
Perez, Rick Roden, expert golfer. But they were good in the mid to late 80s, but they never quite could get all the. They would come in Toronto was very tough back then. But they were a good team in the mid to late 80s with Henderson, Winfield, Mattingly, Guidry, but they never could quite get that next step. So
right, and then they hit a new low in the early 90s. They had some good teams, but they never really did anything with it. And then the early 90s, when Mattingly got hurt, they just had nothing. And so Brian Taylor was our new hope. And he was supposed to be. So I love that card.
Can you imagine if they had super fractors back then, how much a Brian Taylor would have gone for?
Oh my God. I know. Yeah. Yeah. This was one of the first autographs, one of the first Topps issued autographs was the Brian Taylor, which is also kind of a cool piece of history.
All right. Am I up?
Yes, sir.
So in the mid 80s, when I finally got back into first got into collecting, I remember there was this baseball card kit you can get in the mail that had this price guide and some old looking cards from, I think the company was High Grade. You'd get it through the book club at school or something. So you get plastic sheets, some cards, and this price guide. And in this price guide, the 1980 Topps Rickey Henderson had a $7.50 price. Oh my God, that's so much money. That's an awesome card. And the kid my friend around the corner from me, we knew his older brother had the 1980 Topps set. And to make a long story short, he kept it in one of those lockers. Remember those PVC lockers with all the chemicals, and you put the cards in the slots, whatever. One day he was taking a nap, and I waited on the stairs while my friend was up on his all fours in his room, quietly taking the cards from this locker and feeding them to me through the slats of the stairway. If his brother woke up, he would have kicked our ass without a doubt, right? So anyway, that's how I acquired this 1980 Topps Rickey Henderson. This is it. This is the card that day I took home. Now I have this graded, which is in my top 100, obviously, but this is the raw copy that might be a 5 or a 6. I don't know, but yeah. And then my other buddy showed up right after I completed the deal, if you want to call it the deal, and he basically let the cat out of the bag about the value of this. And then my friend got pissed, and then I had to give him an 85 Topps good and rookie. It was just fine. I had a few of them, so I didn't care. But it was so I had beaten my other friend, had the same idea to go and try to get this very card, and I beat him to the punch. And honestly, this is probably one of the greatest looking rookie cards of any Hall of Fame guy like this. Just an awesome card. Always love this card. Some guys have rookie cards where it's them with their hat off and they're sweaty, or they're just sitting there. This is just a great action shot of Rickey Henderson. Right. And honestly, Juan Soto, he reminds me of Rickey a little bit with his swagger. Up the batter's box, where he's like, all right, that's right, that's good. Yeah, he just got a little bit of an attitude up there in the box like Rickey used to have. A little bit of swagger to Soto when he's up there.
Oh yeah, one of the the funniest things about watching Juan Soto is he watches the ball into the glove, and then God forbid the ump calls a strike. He's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, But Ricky definitely had that swagger. Like I remember his speech. He's like, "I'm the greatest stolen play." What did he say? Something like, "I'm the greatest stolen base runner of all time," or something like that.
He said, and from his apartment, he could see the entire state building.
And there's the John Olerud story where he goes up to John Olerud. He's like, "I used to play with someone who wore a helmet in the field." And John Olerud was like, "Yeah, that was me, Ricky." Also, I heard a Ricky stat. I saw it online, so it has to be true, that he had more games played after he broke the stolen base record than before. Just shows how long he played. Is that crazy?
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, he played a lot. He's got a lot of cards. He was on a lot of teams, and so therefore a lot of cards of him. I tried to put together his run, and then I gave up. I've told that story, but he played a long time. I mean, he retired when he was, he's early 40s finally with the Red Sox, I think, was his last playing team. I think Boston, 2003.
Wow, so, I don't even remember him playing with the Red Sox.
He played on so many teams late in his career, you couldn't keep up. Yeah.
Right. Maybe I probably blocked that out of my memory.
Yeah. He didn't make an impact there, so.
All right, Josh, you're up.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it brief for Vince.
No, it's okay. You can talk. I just want to hear Joe.
So this is a great card. It's not in the top 100, but I love it. Dodger, great. Roy Kemp, rookie.
Yeah.
2.5, but to Joe's point, nice eye appeal on this one. I think he had 3 MVPs. Nice clean back. Just a fantastic player. I think, Joe, you have one of these too?
I do. I just added it. It's in a really high grade. It's amazing. Like Roy Campanella, that's his rookie card, and I feel like he's definitely another player that's underappreciated in the hobby. So was able to get that at the same price, double the grade as I think the Jackie Robinson, I paid double the price, but half the grade. You know what I mean? Like it's Jackie Robinson and then Satchel Paige from that same set are, triple the price of the Roy Campanella. So, and he's one of the greats of that era.
Yeah, I always remember hearing stories about him growing up because I think it was like 59 or 60 tops. There's the one basically after his car accident, and so that was kind of a notorious card growing up too.
Yep, very cool. Yeah, I don't know how that doesn't crack your top 100, but it's got to be close, right?
Josh has a quietly, incredibly awesome top 100.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So my next card is actually, a card that actually just barely. You guys might be wondering how this didn't crack the top 100, but Aaron Judge, really awesome card. I looked it up. This was right outside my top 100, and this is 2016 Bowman's Best. For some reason, Aaron Judge's cards are still pretty cheap. I don't know why. I mean, he might be the best player we've ever seen. He definitely has the chance of
Well, no, hold on a second.
I mean, look, dude, he's the best player in baseball right now. He is.
Probably.
He hit 62 home runs. Have you ever seen anybody hit 62 home runs before? No, you have not.
I have not.
And would you be surprised if he did it again?
I think he cracked 50 a year every year if he plays in 140 plus games.
Right. He's like besides Ohtani, he's the best player in baseball. And if you look back at the last 3 years, he's been the best player in baseball. He's doing it again this year, and his cards are pretty cheap. But anyway, the reason why this card was I know I'm getting a lot of okay.
Yeah, here it comes.
Yeah, here it comes. God forbid I say that Aaron Judge is good.
I think we are alive for Barry Bonds and McGuire and Sosa too, but I think you meant American League.
What am I smoking? I watched the games, guys. Judge is definitely the best player in baseball. It's one of the greatest we've ever seen. It's a bold statement. Why? How is it a bold statement? He should. This should be hit like he's on. He should win what should be his third MVP. We all know that Altuve stole that other MVP. So this is going to be his third MVP. So I don't know. I don't think it's that crazy of a statement.
I mean, he came up later. He was a little older, right? Soto came up so young, and so
yeah,
right. Well, that's everybody's like, oh, he started late, so I guess he's not that good. But yeah, so I got this card. My buddies all pitched in for this Judge when I turned 40. I got it the day after my son was born, so that's another reason why.
Yeah, Carlisle's funny. Carlisle in the comment section.
Comparing him to Mantle, yeah, sure, why not? I'll compare him to Bonds. He's the most feared hitter since Bonds.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I know. All right, fine. Might as well have some fun with this. All right, I'm done talking. See you.
So this was a big card, without a doubt, in the mid '80s, and I was in Winthrop Center in Massachusetts at CVS Pharmacy, and I bought pack 85 tops.
Yes.
I bought a lot of, and I pulled this, and man, was I so happy to get this card because in the it's not. I bought this is not the card. This is purchased later because I wanted to grade it in a 9. But when I got this card, man, I was so happy walking home to, after having bought like maybe 6 or 7 packs, and it was like a $3 card in the little Beckett. Beckett had a little blue comprehensive price guide back in the day, not the monthly, but it was like every year they come out with like a little annual one, right? And it was worth $3, and I was so excited to have pulled a $3 card. And Gooden, probably, I mean, I don't know how I started liking him. He was just phenomenal and so fun to watch. And it's just a shame that what happened, some of those career issues that came up, personal issues that kind of derailed his career a little bit. But the 85 tops Gooden, I was deciding between this and the 84 tops traded, but I never had that as a kid. So although I do like, I think the design of that better, this just has more, I guess, more impact. And it's still a nice looking card, even though it's not an action shot. Dwight Gooden. So that's number 2. Number two.
That's a great card. Eric, those back pages would be happy. So for me, kind of, since you said Judge hit more home runs than anyone you ever saw, apparently you didn't see this guy play.
Not on steroids.
Not on steroids. Fair point. So this is Topps Dynasty. Nice chunky patch. They're all serial numbered out of 10 or 5 or 1. And I just like Dynasty. The boxes are through the roof. But you can pick up some of the singles for fairer prices. And so it's out of the modern stuff, I would say it's one of my favorites.
Dylan Moore.
Who you got? Aaron Judge or Dylan Moore? Who you starting the team with?
I'll have to get back to you on that one. I have to go to Baseball Reference and compare.
That's a really cool, awesome card, Josh. Yeah, McGuire was great, but he, all these guys that we're talking about, they were all. I was just watching a Lance Armstrong video last night. Like nobody, everyone calls him kind of, like it's almost like a sad story. It's like none of his records count. And it's hard to know what's reality with when we saw McGuire hit 49 when he wasn't on steroids, but then
you don't know that.
Well, yeah, true. But anyway,
well, McGuire had the intangible. He brought intangible value back to baseball with that whole chase because post-strike interest waned dramatically in the sport in '94, and so that McGuire Sosa home run chase really got people fired up again. And I think maybe even collecting more too. I kind of got back into it around that time as well, after taking like a several year hiatus, like many people of my generation. Not uncommon to hear they got out of the cards when they went to college, they got back into it after, when they had the financial wherewithal now to buy some of the things they couldn't get, back when they were growing up in high school, whatever. So, but so there's that, there was some value there, albeit steroid induced, but it brought people back to the game, I think. So
the 85 Topps Olympic team went through the roof at that time.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I wish I had sold. They were like $250 a piece at one point.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got, I think, 2 left. So you guys know this card got me back into the hobby, but up until this is the card that got me back into the hobby about 12, 13 years ago. But up until I bought that card, the number 1 card in my collection, which is very straight, like all my life until I was 30 something. It was this card. People would always, I don't know if you guys used to get that question growing up. You'd say something like, what's the best card in your collection? That's how people, that don't know anything about cards. That would be always the question that they would ask. This was always the answer for me. The best card in my collection, up until I was, until I got that play ball DiMaggio. The best card in my collection was always this 55 Topps Ted Williams. And I'm laughing because it's a Red Sox. It's arguably the greatest Red Sox player of all time. His card was the best card in my collection. I don't remember how I acquired it, but in the Beckett price guide, you pull it up and it said it was a $400 card. And so I was like, that's the best card in my collection. So it has in my room, it was funny because it would be like my bedroom would be all Yankee stuff. And then in like this plaque would be this like Ted Williams card, which I thought was awesome, but it was, it just kind of goes to show like, when it comes to collecting, like I can, for some reason, like even though I'm a huge Yankees fan, as you guys can see, I'm saying Judge is the greatest player of all time. But I can, as a collector, I could usually like step away from being a Yankees fan and appreciate. And it all started with this Ted Williams being my best card in my collection for 30 years.
Yeah, and you like history. My best card in my collection for 30 years was a 57 Ted Williams.
Oh wow!
Dad gave me. And I think back then Ted Williams was also like in the Beckett more expensive than like Mays and Jackie Robinson, et cetera, right? Like back then,
right.
his prices were the highest.
Yep.
I don't know why that flipped.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Ted Williams. Pretty much anyone you ask, he's a lot of people say he's the greatest hitter of all time, like pure hitter of all time. So I don't know why his cards would go down. So
all right, am I up?
Yeah, and we're down to our number 1, guys.
Good. We'll have a couple minutes to chit chat before we have to sign off for the day, right? So number 1 for me, this is not only my favorite card that's not in my top 100. This might be my favorite card in my entire collection, and this is another one of those nostalgia, goggle sort of preferences here. These 86 Topps League Leaders cards. This is a fan favorites design, replicating that, featuring 3 guys that define the middle 80s in collecting. Dwight Gooden, Mattingly, and Wade Boggs.
Oh, that's cool.
From Topps fan favorites. I think numbered to 40 or something like that. But I just love this card. So in 1986, the Topps League Leader cards had this sort of white, misty sort of border, and they'd have like 1 or 2 guys on it, right? And they'd have the team leaders in the back. So that's what this is designed after. And then here is the back. Is that out of 40 or 50? Anyway, I just love this card, and I don't care about the grade. I only had it slabbed just to get it slabbed, and I like the CGC slabs anyway. I know that's sort of a polarizing opinion to have in the hobby.
Are you? But Vince, I can't remember. Are you a comic book collector at all, or?
So I have, and I haven't. I'm not lately. But okay. I have a lot of graded comic books. Funny, I actually was going to put together a video. It's been a few years since I did like a comprehensive top, and that market has tanked a lot too. And I'm going to talk about that in that video. But yes and no. I guess. I haven't bought anything in a while.
Gotcha.
I don't know if I will in the future because I'm kind of like whittling down my, where I put my resources, I guess. So, but why do you ask?
Isn't the CSG? Aren't they like really popular?
Yeah, CGC. Yeah, CGC is the biggest comic book rating company. Yeah, they're like the PSA of comic books. CGC. Yeah.
CGC. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, no, that's the slab is not that card is awesome. That's a really and like Dwight Gooden in the Mets uniform, and then Wade Boggs in that old school. That I always think of Boggs, back in that 1986 World Series against the Mets in those ugly gray Red Sox away uniform.
Yeah, from an all-time low to an all-time high, riding a horse around Yankee Stadium.
Yes.
Boggs has like some notorious stories, right? They call him the
10 years later. Yeah.
How many beers did Boggs drink before games? It was like some ungodly number.
Oh yes, right. Like if you want to take on the Wade Boggs challenge on an airplane, you're out of your mind.
So my buddy's trying to convince me to do the 9x9 at a Dodger game.
Oh, nice.
Hot dogs, 9 beers. It seems absurd.
I do, but yeah, I actually feel like I could probably do it. Do you think you could do it? 9 dogs, 9 beers? Maybe I would. Maybe I can.
Really?
That's a lot.
9 trips to the bathroom?
Yeah, maybe 9 trips to the bathroom I could do. You think you could do it, Vince?
I think you get puke thinking about doing it. I mean, just all that hot dog meat and beer, and after a couple, it'd be like, seriously, dude. No, I wouldn't want to do it. So
it'd be fun to watch someone try.
You need to get a loan from Mike Moynihan to do that one.
Maybe I'll do in Cleveland. I'll do the 9 for 9, and then I'll arm wrestle Phil to finish off the night.
Your wife's like, "How did you get hurt at a card show?"
Yeah. So who's up, Josh?
Yeah, let's round it out. So, first year refractors have always been, something I love. Collect. Picked this Bonds up with Mike actually, and this Eckersley recently. But I would say my favorite one from that set is this guy. Piazza, he was a rookie in 92, but 93, finest that kind of changed the game, right? And these are not serial numbered, but I think stated print run was 241. They do green a little bit, but just awesome cards. First year refractors, and got to have my boy Piazza, who never got caught doing steroids, by the way.
I remember finest. Those packs were like impossibly expensive. Like just to get one pack of that, I just remember, you thought 89 Upper Deck was expensive. Just getting one pack of those finest packs as a kid were impossible.
Nothing compared to base pack prices, even for base stuff.
Right.
It's like, what the hell happened?
And what is that? So that's Piazza's first, I guess. Like, it's not his rookie year; it's like his second year card.
Second year card, but yeah, first finest and first refractor.
Okay. Was that your favorite player growing up, Josh?
Yeah, he was only in Dodgers for like 5 years, but
okay,
those were kind of lean years for the Dodgers. The Fox ownership was rough and so dumb to let him go.
Yeah. They see you were like, that must have been devastating to see him go to the Mets.
Right, the Marlins and then the Mets.
Oh, he was the Marlins.
Yeah.
Jeez, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. That was like a purgatory for him. For a couple of
I do not remember him with the Marlins at all. Okay, so last card for me. There's no surprise here. Of course, it's got to be Don Mattingly. So I of course, I own this in a PSA 10. Of course, only if you're awesome do you own this in a PSA 10. But I also own it in a Beckett 8. This was the card that I had growing up. This was when I was younger. Of course, Donald Arthur Mattingly from Evansville, Indiana, is my favorite player of all time. It's not even close. Like it's weird. Like I don't, as you can see, I love Judge. I love Derek Jeter. But every single at bat that Don Mattingly was like, every time he was up, like it was like a liver, like it was like a live or die experience. Like I would scream at the television. I love Don Mattingly. And I told my parents I want his rookie card. And then, of course, one Christmas, my parents got me the full 84 Donruss set and pulled this card out. This was part of my childhood collection. It was the first ever real big card that I ever owned. And happy that it came back as, it's pretty good for a card that, owned as a kid. Kept it in pretty nice condition because it was the only thing that mattered to me when I was growing up. So that's number one. That's got to be number one, right, Vince?
Yeah. Hold on. I just got a text from Vaulted Vinyl. Hold on a second, okay?
Okay.
What's going on? Hope all is well. I know you're probably live right now. I think you're still going here. We're going to be live all day. So, look, I'm all on board for this, man. If you want to show off that mini and share it with collectors, that would be absolutely awesome. Okay. We need to reach as many collectors.
All right. So do you want to give something away?
Move forward in the future. So
If you want to.
here is yes. If you would
What's
like
going to
to
be your criteria here?
select the winner, get all their information.
Okay.
That's what we need. We need name. We need email.
Okay. So Vaulted Vinyl will give away. We got to think of how do we give this away, Joe? They'll give away a display card mini collector case. We have to go, don't we? How much time do we have?
I got to get to the next stream like now.
Okay.
So how about everybody who donates within the
next?
next 15 minutes following this? Does that sound good?
What do you want to do?
Everyone who donates in the next 15 minutes, $10 gets you an entry on the wheel.
We'll get their names and we'll draw a name from that.
Yeah, during our 9 o'clock show, we'll be doing a few different wheel of names to give things away. So
yeah, and so this is the Vaulted Vinyl Air Card Mini display case. You could showcase 2 cards on the front, and like it stores like I think 100 slab or 50 slabs inside of it. So if you look at it online, but that's the giveaway. So Shane's on board with that. Sorry it's so late, but anyway, I'll send you some details on that, John, so you can kind of maybe broadcast.
all right.
Yeah.
So everybody, every $10 gets you 1 entry on the prize wheel, and we'll do the random drawing during the 9 o'clock show, wrap-up show at the end of Hobbypalooza today. So,
Nice.
And then I'll get you whoever's information that wins that. So
Yeah, and Shane says to pass it on to him once we decide who is the winner. So
okay,
great.
Thanks.
All right.
all right, everybody, got to hit to the next show. Good job,
Thanks, guys.
guys.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right. Thanks, John.